everybody and welcome on today's video. I got these two cedars. I'm not sure what variety they are, but we'll find out one day, I guess. I got these from the trophy and well, the buds are starting to swell. Now I really love these cedars. I never had one, so anything that I do or say, please don't take it for granted. Don't think it is the truth. I'm just experimenting. One thing that I do know is that I want them to get out of this pot, sort the roots out, see what I can do, see what possible front I have, and then let them grow for a year. Maybe if some could be a nice cascade, that would be great too, because well, these cedars, they look great as cascades. And one thing that I have to mention also is that when I bought these trees, I asked if they were grafted ones. No, they are just seedlings, so that's very nice, because I don't like all these grafted things. Most of the times, well, these grafts at some point in their existence, they start to look a little weird. So let's get these guys out of the pot and we'll see. It's gonna be a surprise. 1, 2, 3, and it's your turn. All right, you start with this one. Well, the first thing that I see is that they are healthy. There seems to be some pumice, peat, I don't know what it is. Yeah. Anyway, looks good and healthy. I must say, this is really the difference between getting a tree from a nursery that knows that one day someone is going to try to make a bonsai with that, and someone who is just selling nursery stuff to put in the ground, and where the roots will, well, not matter in the sense that they will disappear under the ground, and that the nebari does not have any impact on the beauty of that tree. So I mean nothing bad with nurseries, but they have just another goal, serve another purpose. So here again, I'm not going to rake these roots out. I'm just going to plunge my chopstick through the root ball and get the soil out between the roots and not rip the roots, because like I said, I have no clue how these cedars like root work. So just getting the soil off. Goes fairly well. This is something that I don't like too much here. I think there's a big knuckle here. Oh boy. Well, we'll see. Anyway, these roots need a wash, because otherwise I don't know what's going on, and I cannot judge well. Okay, so I'm gonna get a wash for this one and then we will see. This root is very high up. I will not need that, so that can come off. And then the biggest problem is, I think, at this point, I think you can see it here, there is this big upgrowing root here. Now it has to go. There's no way that I can use that, and I'll have to see how much root I take off by removing that. Now I think that's quite a lot for a conifer. And then I have this root that is way up. Is there anything attached here? Because this is also a very, very bad root. Let me see if I get this knuckle off. I'm going to lose this portion also. Now, do I want that? Well, there's not a lot I can do. Of course, I can say that this is my root base, and then this tree is good to go for a cascade. And I might even put that one with it in the pot, and that might be an acceptable idea. So just remove this. Why not? Let's do that. A thing that I mentioned multiple times, I think that a cascade, I see a lot of people making a cascade like this. The trunk comes out and then they bend it, but that is not realistic. I think that it's best that your trunk comes out of the pot in a bend, you see. So, well, you already have your cascade, so that's one thing. And why do cascades exist? Well, because there's something going on. There's a lot of wind in this direction, or rocks falling, so that's possible, and that makes sense then. So this one will become a cascade. I'm going to take a little bit of my usual substrate, mix that with the substrate that was in the pot, and plant this tree again. Let's start with a good drainage layer. No, that's way too much. That will be better. And now mix some of the old compost with the new one. Doesn't have to be complicated, you know. Okay, so since I don't have any cascade pots, I will just put this tree in this plastic pot, which looks fine as a cascade pot. And I have to hold the tree while I add the substrate. Well, now it holds, thanks to my little scoop here. And as long as it grows happily, it's gonna be okay. Now I'm gonna need a little more stuff here, and maybe try to put a rock under it. Well, no, I think this is gonna be okay. It will just have to sit on the edge of the pot here, which I think is fine. Just this little root that I might try to tuck in. Anyway, this tree now has a direction, a first, I'm not gonna call it a styling because it's absolutely no styling, but a direction to grow in. And I think that's all that I need to do for this year with this one. So let's do the next one. Which would be this one. This is already looking quite problematic. You see that root here. But, you know, if you do not do the root work in the beginning, you'll never have a good tree. Now this one is different. Well, they all are. So again, I'm going to clean up this root ball by just pushing my chopstick through the root ball and wiggle it without tearing the roots. Well, that's something else. But here I have a root spread that is maybe a little more interesting. So even if I have a defectuous root, I might just leave it to support the tree, even if I think that it should come off in the coming years. And well, you know me, I like to do some crazy stuff also. So if I think that I can use this root by wiring it, well, I will wire it. That's for sure. I'm not afraid to wire a root for a year if it avoids cutting that root off and weakening the tree too much. So again here, you see that's not a good root. But I need to see how much is attached to this root. It's all a little bit entangled here. So I'll go wash this and then we'll see what it looks like. So I washed the roots off and well, this is really a strange root. You will agree on that. And it is entangled or fused with other roots. So I need to sort this out just a little bit. It's a little bit of a puzzle. Of course, you can never do that without damaging anything, but I'll try to reduce the damage, keep this thing under control. I'm going to get there. Okay, so this is loose. So this is bendable. It's not perfect, I give you that. This is, well, going back into the tree, so that's not good, but it is bendable, but also entangled. So again, I'll have to loosen this. Okay. And it is obvious that these are seedlings. You see the taproot is here. Now if there's a root that I really don't want, that's the taproot. And it doesn't have that much roots. So, okay, I have to do something. So I'll cut off that taproot. I think I'm still in the clear. And I'll make that stump as clean as I can, so maybe some root can come off from here. Now this one is going, well, in a very strange direction, up. If I remove that, I mean that portion, yeah, well, I don't know what to do otherwise with that root. This little thin one I like. This one, and this one is okay. This one, technically, it's good. And this, I cannot bend this. If I bend this, this other one is going to be straight up. So it has to come off. Now, I looked at this root base and it's not bad. I think that I might try to plant it on a rock Not because I want it to be a rock planting, but this is a quite easy way to open up your root ball and give it some shape. So I think I'll do that. Something like that, okay. So I have a little pot here, nice little clay pot with two big drainage holes, one for here and one for there. And now I'm going to use some substrate, like so. I'm gonna give this thing a general trim, because when you trim back the roots, you're telling the tree that you want other roots. And now I'm going to position this on the rock. Might look nice on this rock, or it might look nice on a much bigger rock in the coming years. So this big roots in the back would look good. See, it is possible to open this up a little. And now, of course, I'm going to miss a couple of hands, like we all do and always will do. I'm sorry I'm blocking the view. Anyone that has ever repotted a tree will know that it can be tricky. I wonder if I should add a little bit of this organic material, but could also be an interesting test to see what this tree prefers, well, what these trees prefer. I don't think it is very stable in this pot, so I'm gonna take some stones, put on top of that, and I'll be back. I think my little rocks will do the trick, but I think that it would be even better if I first use a few pieces of moss, just to keep the whole thing well covered and well protected for the first couple of weeks. That will hold everything nicely in position, and I can still use my rocks on top of that moss, which will make the construction even better. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love this little tree. It's so simple. Such a nice foliage. Really great. Now, I don't think that this is the front. If you look at the tree, well, this is a better movement, but I mean, they're so thin and flexible at this moment that it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna clean up and we'll have a little final look. Now, before I call this a day, I think that I might just use a couple of pieces of moss to anchor my little to-be cascade tree in this pot. And I'm gonna take a piece of wire, put it very deeply in the pot, and try to, it's very small, you know. It's just to support the tree a little bit, so that the roots don't go all over the place. So I don't really want to wire this tree, I just want to support it a little. So I'm gonna bend this piece of wire here over the pot and put it in. It's just that the roots don't move too much which will be better, and the styling of this tree of course will be on a later date. But I think that's a little more secure like this. Well, I know they don't look like much, but I'm over the moon. I'm really extremely happy with my two little cedars. This one is gonna be a great cascade one day. And I think it's gonna be happy. The root work was not too severe. This one is now in completely different substrate, is growing on a rock, which might be nice in the future also, and has a whole lot of little branches all over the place. So I think just 1 year of free growing will be the best for these two. If you have any hints or tricks or tips for working with cedars, please let me know. If you can recognize the variety of the cedars, please let me know. Also, they're very green. I know there are some more blue ones. I'll have to look it up. I think it's gonna be quite easy to find this. But okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please do all the YouTube stuff, and I'll catch you later.